Hello everyone, welcome back to Tartan Samurai Gaming. Today we are playing Batman Returns for the Sega Genesis or Mega Drive, depending on where you're from. Tough game this one, and not Batman's best outing, but we'll give it a go. So that was the opening there, which had the Penguin basically murdering somebody and blaming it on Batman. Which, if you've seen the film, you know what that was all about. Okay, so I'm setting my number of lives to 7, because, like I said, this is a difficult game. And let's get into it. Act 1. Gotham City. Now, immediately, one thing I will say about this game that is great is the atmosphere. It's got that gothic vibe absolutely nailed. The music, the kind of grim, gritty, sort of what you'd expect Gotham City to look like, basically. This is it. They've captured the atmosphere perfectly. The gameplay is another story, but the atmosphere is definitely on point. So basic controls, C is your jump button, but it's also your grappling line. And you can fire it when you're in mid-air as well, like so. And gargoyles can be a bit of a pain. Most enemies take 2 hits, at least, for some reason. And watch out for the exploding penguins. Yes, I really did just say that. Thankfully, I think there is some extra energy coming up in a moment, because we're going to need it shortly. Now, all these different gadgets that I'm picking up, I'll just give you a quick rundown of Batman's utility belt. So A is to use your special weapons. So we've got basic batarangs, smoke bombs, a cluster of bats, a bat swarm, I guess you might call it, enhanced grapple line, which is basically a rope gun, and the homing batarang, the most powerful weapon in the game, but also the most scarce. Most scarce? Scarcest? I don't know. Anyway, you get the picture. Right, there's our extra health. That should hopefully see us through to the end of the level. Yep, those penguins will just spawn infinitely, so you're going to have to make your way past them eventually. Okay, we're almost at the boss of the first section here. So we got up here and we're going to have a little fight with Catwoman. So there's a trick here. Basically go up 1 level and then drop down a level. And every time Catwoman transitions, that's when you attack. Like so. Try and get out of the way before she flips, because if she catches you with her flip, she can cause you injury. Like so. Energy's low here, but hopefully we'll be okay. Oh dear, we're in trouble here. Yeah, oh well, 1 life down, that's okay. When it's equal health bars, we should win this quite easily. See, why wasn't she this smooth a minute ago when I was low on health? You can actually kick Catwoman over the ledge, but it won't have any effect on the battle. She'll just Comes straight back up with invincibility frames like she usually has. Okay, and she's down. So that is level 1 cleared. Now on to part 2 of level 1. Now you gotta watch out for these water jets here that shoot intermittently. Best just to batarang those machine gun clowns. Check behind each wall for a power-up. The level is slanted at a strange angle, but thankfully so are your batarangs if you throw them. So at least that's fair. Oh dear, we're down to 2 energy points now. Oh, that's a bit harsh. Okay, now you want to kick out this statue. And that, because if I hadn't done that, the air vent would have sucked me back up to the start of the level. And of course there's a heart right after we lose a life, typical. But thankfully there's an extra life for us. Just drop down here, and we're almost at the end of the level now. Kick out this stone statue, and we're now on to another sub-boss, and it's these 2 statues which were background elements in Batman Returns, the movie, and here they are a sub-boss. So pretty simple, just punch them out one at a time. Watch out for the cogs and the fireballs. Making heavy work of this. There we go. Okay, now, little secret. Glide, and you'll get an extra life. And then jump up here, and you get some extra batarangs. Thankfully, our health is restored for the next section. This is the final section of Act 1, Gotham Cathedral, which is where we took down the Joker in the last game. You can see even the cathedral looks very sort of grimy and unkempt in this game. As I said, the vibe of this game really has it's nailed the movie perfectly. It's just a bit of a rough game to play, unfortunately, but it's not terrible. It's just a bit, I don't know. The enemies feel a bit unfair. You never feel totally in control of Batman because his movement is very sluggish. But, you know, there's fun to be had as long as you work at it. And it helps if you're actually a fan of the character, as I am. I'm sure plenty of you are, that's why you're watching this. A lot of power-ups hidden behind columns and things here. Okay, so there's a heart there which we want to get. Take this guy out. There we go. You might be thinking I wasted a batarang there, but had I lost my life, I would have lost about 30 batarangs. So sacrificing 1 to save 30, I think is a worthwhile investment. The thing is though, with you losing weaponry, if you lose a life, it means that every time you take on a boss, basically if you don't beat them first time, it becomes exponentially harder because you've got to do it with less weaponry each time you lose a life, which I think's a little bit unfair. Again, people say, you know, oh, that's a challenge. To me, that's not challenge. To me, that's poor design. But anyway, that's a matter of opinion, I suppose. Now, we will get to the top here and we'll find the thing that is actually spawning these gargoyles. So with that taken out, we can now go up and take on the boss. I'll just make sure there's no power-ups here that I'm missing. Nope. So we take this lift up, and Penguin will be waiting for us. So basically, when he comes across at your ground level, that's when you want to hit him. So thankfully, we don't have to worry about those gargoyle statues again. Now, you want to make sure you jump off that platform as soon as you arrive. Basically dodge the missiles, wait for Penguin to come down, and then punch him as hard and as fast as you can. Almost done. Okay, level 1 is clear. And so we move on to level 2. Shrek's Wonderland, so named after Max Schreck, who was played brilliantly in the movie by Christopher Walken. Christopher Walken is one of those guys who, I don't remember him ever being the main character in a film, but I don't remember him ever being bad in a film either. Even in bad movies, he's always great. Christopher Lee's another one. Been in bad movies, but he's never been bad in them. Funnily enough, they both played Bond villains in pretty mediocre Bond films, but they themselves were great in them. But yeah, Christopher Walken is definitely a highlight of Batman Returns, because the character Max Schreck was created just for the film. He's not, there is no comic book basis for him or anything. But he really took that character and made it his own, and you know, to the point that even today there are still people calling for Max Schreck to be introduced to the Batman universe properly. And maybe someday it'll happen, I don't know. Right, we're going to use some weaponry on this guy because he's pretty tough, so we'll use our lines here to get some good damage in. Okay. So what we want to do here is to try and basically bait this guy into throwing a couple of projectiles, and while he's busy throwing stuff, we can leap ahead and get a jump on him at the top level. Ah, mistime my jump there. So draw him away. Right. Again, leap ahead while he's doing that and line up. Okay, now batarangs all the way. And a couple of kicks and he's done. So now we move into the department store. And even that is still looking pretty drab. So these knife throwers, you can creep up to them and kick them, but the baseball bat guys, just use batarangs on them. It's not worth the stress of trying to time your kicks. You see? Like so. Okay, there we go. So watch out for these bowling clowns. And there are some power-ups down here that can be had. But we've got to watch out for bad guys as well. Oh dear. But luckily it just puts us straight back here, so we can just take this guy out. And then get the power-ups. Okay, a couple of smoke bombs here. 3 smoke bombs to be precise. I don't use the smoke bombs that often, but they are a very versatile weapon. Now we're gonna use the batarang, the back claw to get a little bit of a one-up there on the bad guy, but he still hit me a couple of times, but it would have been harder had I approached him directly. Okay, can I reach that? No, I can't. No, I can. Okay. Now, a little trick here to skip some of the more difficult parts of the level. So just batarang this guy. And now, you'll see here there's a bad guy up there stopping us from reaching that ledge, but if we use a homing batarang, we can take him out, and that allows us to skip a large part of the level. So always keep at least one homing batarang just for that point. Take this guy out. Another one. We're about to have another encounter with Catwoman. But this time it'll be harder because we're fighting on just one level. So we're probably going to lose a life here, but that's okay. Yeah, that's alright, we can take that. So try and use kicks where possible, but when necessary, just batarang her. We've got plenty of batarangs in stock anyway. There we go, she's down. Okay, tricky little boss this one, mostly because of this metal ball that is following us. For fuck's sake. Okay, so this boss can be a tricky one, largely due to this metal ball that follows you relentlessly and can kill you in one hit. So get the extra life if you can, but prioritize just staying ahead of this steel ball. We're almost there. Not too far to go now. And there we go. Okay, we're clear of the ball. And now we can go on to the boss proper. So what we have to do, when Penguin appears, you have to jump and punch him. And try, if you land a punch on him, he will then come down to your level. Like so, allowing you to get some hits in. But he's done a bit of damage here, so I'm just going to cheat and use homing batarangs, because I really can't be bothered doing that steel ball thing again. Okay, done. Yes, I kind of cheesed that, but you know what? I can't be bothered with the grief that I would get otherwise, so we'll take that. Act 3, the Red Triangle Circus. So we're at Gotham Zoo now, which is the location where the Red Triangle Circus are hiding out. Whoops, I used the wrong batarangs there. Normal batarangs from here on out. Always remember to switch back to your basic weapon after you've used a special weapon. Important safety tip, that. So these flamethrower, fire breathers or whatever you want to call them, best to just take them out from distance with batarangs, because you can like creep under them if you're really quick, but it's just safer to just hit them from distance. Now, every time you cross one of those chasms, always double check back, because there will be a power-up, usually, on that second ledge there. And there's probably a power-up down here as well. Let's see what we've got. Yep. Ah, good. Homing batarangs, because we ran out of those because I was an idiot at the start of the level. Better, making good progress here so far. Now, there's an extra life up there, but in order to reach it, we have to go up here. Then glide across, like so. Bat swarm, that will come in handy later. We have a lot of regular batarangs here, so we as well to put them to good use. Health running a bit low now. Have to be careful. There's a heart. If we can just reach it. Yes, we can. Okay. Now let's drop down here and see what these guys have hidden behind them. Yep, extra batarangs. That was well worth the trip. How about this fella over here? What does he have behind him? Oh, bat swarm. Nice. Oh dear. Well, we were always going to lose a life at some point on this level, so that's that. See, this is where the game gets a bit frustrating, because that guy was just basically stun-locking me there until I used a batarang. But at least that's the end of the section, and we will get full energy back for this section. Oh dear. Oh, almost overshot the distance there. Right, okay. So just punch these guys out from distance. Okay, I think you see how this works. So this time we are going in reverse. So over here. Oh dear. It's okay, managed to clear it. Safe, just. Now with these guys, keep your distance and just 3 batarangs. We can pick up extra batarangs as we go, so don't be overly concerned about it. Yep, careful you don't get too close and get tagged by one of the bombs. Now these little things, watch out for those little punches that emerge from each side of them. Oh, and you know the annoying thing? There's a health power-up right behind him. Ha! Typical. Now this part of the level you can bleed quite a few lives quite quickly if you're not careful, so just take these guys out as quick as. Don't mess around with them, because they won't mess around with you. That probably looked a bit messy, but in the grand scheme of things, that was actually quite a good run. because you can sometimes drop quite a few lives there. So first of all, up to the top here, and just let these guys run into you, run into your fists. Job done. Now on to the final part of this level, the train ride. This is one of these levels where you're going to lose a couple of lives, you just need to make peace with it and just bash your way through it. Now here we've got some spinning blades to contend with. Again, you're going to take damage, not a whole lot you can do about it because of the way they move. I think it is possible to jump over them, but you've got to have frame perfect timing, which, let's face it, I don't have. First time in about 15 years I've played this game, so... Almost. Getting that far without dropping a life was a pretty good achievement, actually. I'll take that. We are getting towards the end here. The boss is not too far away. Slight issue here is that you can't jump and use batarangs, so we have to try and get as close as we can to that guy without actually hitting him. Here's the boss now. It's basically bat swarms, bat swarm, bat swarms are not that effective. Okay, use the line, that's probably more effective. Yep, yep. Yeah, the super bat rope was more effective there. And so we move on to part 4. Into the sewers. This is where things get really difficult. So right from the off, we've got fireballs coming at us. What you want to try and do here is stay as high up in the level as you can, because that'll just make life easier in the long run. Oh yeah, those guys can jump now as well as throw baseball bats at you. Okay, we'll get that health that's down there. There we are. And the water flow is constantly pushing you back in this level, so you've got to kind of fight just to keep moving forward. It's all a little bit tedious if I'm being honest. Get that first of all, because we're about to fight the boss. Oh dear, lost our first life there. That's unfortunate. Oh, come on now. That's just unreasonable. We got him! Eventually. Okay, little secret here. Watch this. So, ignore this guy, go down here. And we want to drop into this pit over here. But first we'll take this guy out. Oh, don't be so unreasonable. There we go. Right, so down here. So we want to try and grab that extra life, but in order to do that we're going to have to... There we go, we got it now. And we can safely exit the level now. And we'll just be back where we started. So that's a handy little secret for you there. You want to try and get as high as you can in this level, because the further you are away from the dangers of the bottom of the level, the better. And we're clear. And on to the boss. Okay, so there's two stages to this boss. There's this slime cannon, which you want to destroy first, and then there's Penguin, who you can take out afterwards. Almost got him. Come down here and fight me, you muppet. And he's down. Act 4 is clear. Into the final level. Act 5, the Penguin's Lair. So first of all, go back to regular batarangs. Now this entire level is very slippy, so you've got to be so careful. Now up here, in order to get that extra life, first of all we're going to take out this guy, and then just drop down, like so, and then use our back claw to get back up. Now that ice with the evil face on it, basically what will happen is that when you jump on that, after a second or two it will flip upside down and you'll get spiked by the ice underneath. So you don't want to stand on it for too long. Just long enough to do that, basically. So I think you see the pattern here. Watch out for the spikes. Shades of Sonic the Hedgehog there. Yeah. You can look down and then use that to plot your pathway ahead, though it's not always as helpful as it should be. Like so. Okay. From here, we are just going to use a homing batarang just to make life a bit easier. So Now we want to time our jump here. Yes, there we go. Now wait till this guy fires and then get up and hit him as quick as we can. And this one too. Now there are some spikes here, but don't worry because there's a heart there, which will give us full health for the challenge ahead. You've got to be so careful with your jumps here because of it's so wide. Okay, and we're cleared of that section, finally. Back to normal batarangs. So lots of power-ups here, but also lots of hazards too. So it's a trade-off. Though a heart would be very nice right about now. But we made it. So this final boss has got 2 stages. And the first one we are going to tackle with a bat swarm. I think you see my process here. Let the penguin fire off his rocket penguins. Jump in, bat swarm and jump away again. Like so. This time, probably some good batarangs alone will do it. Wait until we get a nice long platform. We got him! The battle is not over, however. Because we've still got to fight the actual final boss. Okay. Okay. Right. So as soon as he comes out, bat swarm. And follow up with the line. Okay, so penguin's down. And I think we have almost got him. And he's down. The penguin is down. Now I'm going to show you a little trick here, because this game actually has 2 endings based on what happens here. So, make a little save state here. Now, this is what happens if you beat Catwoman. So the end credits roll while we have a last battle with Catwoman. But it runs very similar to the battle that we had on the first level, so as long as you are able to keep traversing between the higher and lower, you should win. Okay. So with Catwoman knocked out, it ends with her on the deck being surrounded by cats. So that's one ending. But now I'm going to show you the other ending to the game. What happens if Catwoman beats Batman in that final fight. So same idea, but this time I'm going to let Catwoman beat me. Watch what happens. So, in this ending, Batman is knocked out and the Batmobile has to come and rescue him. Catwoman gets away. I'll leave it up to you to decide which is the good ending and which is the bad ending, but that's how this game finishes. So, that was Batman Returns. Quite a tedious game to go through, but, you know, it was a good movie, and the game certainly captures the atmosphere of the movie, I will say that much. It really captures the atmosphere, but unfortunately, awkward controls, frustrating combat, kinda let it down a little bit. But I hope you enjoyed this playthrough anyway. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, all the usual nonsense. And come back soon, Tartan Samurai Gaming, retro gaming content uploaded every single day. Thank you for watching. See you next time.